Katie? Katie?
What?
Have you been in my curry man shed?
What did I go in there for?
There's somebody in there. Door's open. It's just you, Al. Hi there curry fans, it's Friday and that means it's curry time, and today we're cooking a delicious curry that hits all the taste notes. We're talking about chicken tikka dhansak, but today we're doing something a little bit different. We're going to make this curry with my Indian base. Now if you've not seen this new Indian base that's breaking the internet, what I mean is go and check out my other video. I'll link to it in the description to that Indian base. It's had over 160,000 views, and the comments underneath that video, well, just go and read them for yourselves, but people are getting some of the best results they've ever got cooking curry with this base, because it lends itself to your sweeter type of curries, like the dhansak, and that's why I wanted to feature that. It's based roughly on the recipe in my cookbook, but with a few little tweaks and obviously utilizing the Indian base. So this is what we're going to cook today. I've known Al for many years. I'm sure many of you that follow me on this channel know Al from Al's Kitchen. So we had him over for curry last Sunday, and I cooked him a few curries and impressed him, I think. But if you've not seen Al, you don't know much about his channel, which I would struggle to believe, to be honest. I will post a link to Al's channel in the description, and hopefully Al and myself will get together in the future and collaborate on maybe a video or two. But today, let's get to our recipe today. So we're going to utilize ghee in this recipe. Why? Because we want a richness, because this is sort of going more with Indian sort of tastes and Indian flavors, as this base lends itself to. The ghee will really help us achieve that. But we're going to use a little bit of oil. We're going to use just about a tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil, just so that when we put our ghee in, we don't burn it, basically. So we've got about a tablespoon of ghee going in there. As I said, I'll post all the ingredients in the description. So we just want to melt that in our pan, let it do its thing. When it comes to this curry, there's a little bit of controversy over it. There's a variance with this curry. Sometimes you'll get it with pieces of pineapple in, because it's got pineapple in it. Some will just put the pineapple juice or pineapple pulp in the curry. I'm a northerner, so the way we do it, as with my original recipe in my curry book, is we're going to put the whole pieces of pineapple in and break them up into small pieces. Now if you don't like that, if you don't like fruit on a curry, like you don't like ham and pineapple on a pizza, then you can leave the pineapple pieces out and you can just put some of the juice. We're using the 𝗏𝒦𝒘𝒃 pineapple, so we're going to use some of the liquor in the can, which is the syrup, basically the pineapple syrup. I wouldn't do that with other brands. 𝗏𝒦𝒘𝒃 I know is quite good. I've used them before. You used to use them in our takeaway. So I'm going to use some of the liquid from the can in the curry, along with 1 ring of pineapple. So our oil's heating up nicely. The first thing that we're going to do is put in our whole spices. Now we've got some complementary whole spices. What I mean is certain spices lend themselves to sweeter curries. Tej Pata, Asian bay leaf, This adds like a sweet. People wonder what this does. They're like, why do you put that in? Does it actually make a difference? It does. If you cook it in the oil, it will add a certain sort of like a sweetness to the curry that you can't get without it. We're going to put a couple of petals of star anise because a little aniseed sort of note to this curry will really work with the dhansak. And then we've just got a couple of cardamom, green cardamom. I've split the husks a little bit just so that they expose the seeds. We want them in our oil, and we just want to just temper them in our ghee and oil for just about 45 seconds. Not very long at all. Once that's done, good pinch of methi leaves. Just a pinch, guys, here. We don't want to go in with like a teaspoon amount because the curry will just be a little bit too bitter. So just a pinch of methi leaves. You know, you can't really get that BIR taste without methi leaves. It's what we used to do to attract customers to our curry takeaway unit in Chorley. Before lunchtime, when we wanted to get like a queue forming outside the unit, I would take a pan like this, I would fry some ginger and garlic and put some methi leaves in the oil with the garlic, turn on the extractor fan and blast it out into the street, and then the street would be filled with this smell of methi leaves and garlic cooking, and before long we'd have a queue forming outside the unit. Worked every time like a treat. What have we got here? We've got our garlic and ginger. We're just going to put in about a teaspoon amount of garlic. Actually, sorry, it's not garlic and ginger, it's just garlic. No ginger in this curry, in my recipe anyway. So just a teaspoon of garlic. Just fry that out. My tomato paste. Now, it's very simple to make this tomato paste. It's in my Madras recipe. I will post a link to it below so you can go and check it out, and I'll show you how to make this tomato paste. It's just really nice and adds a sort of a home style taste. We're just going to put a tiny bit because it just adds to the sweetness of this 𝒎𝒑 tomato puree. Just a little bit, maybe like just a third of a teaspoon amount will do. Just adds a little bit of something. And just to stop this getting ahead of us or anything burning, we're just going to add a little bit of water. And that's the beauty of this base, that you can just control things, slow things down with water and get the consistency that you want with your curry. So now we're going to go in with our spices, and we've got just over half a teaspoon of turmeric. We've got just a level teaspoon of red Kashmiri chili powder. We're going to get our heat in this, a little bit of spice from the green chili, but that I'll add a little bit in there. We're going to put in 2 teaspoons of coriander powder and just 1 level teaspoon of cumin powder. Now the coriander and the cumin, as I always suggest, have been freshly ground. They were probably ground about a few days ago. And the smell that you get from freshly ground coriander and cumin, just try it as a little test. Try it with shop bought and then try it with the freshly ground, and the smell is night and day, honestly. And if the smell's different, the flavor's different. So what we're going to do is we're going to add in our chicken. Now this is chicken tikka. It's my quick chicken tikka recipe. I will post a link, a video card at the end of the video that will pop up at the end of the video that shows you how I make this quick chicken tikka. So we're going to put in probably, this is 1 good portion, maybe 2 people if they're not very hungry. And we will just toss that pre-cooked chicken in those spices and just let them marry together in the pan. Again, a little bit of water just to keep things fluid. I seem to remember when I was doing a bit of research on this curry that it has a Persian influence, hence the lentils, hence the pineapple. But what you've got to remember with a lot of these recipes that we're used to in the British Indian restaurant and the takeaways have been sort of adapted and devised for the British palate. They're sort of really a British invention. So, you know, people come back and say, oh, that's not an authentic Dhansak, and it probably isn't. And there's a variation of it, but it's the one that we know. It's the one that if you're British, you know and love if you like this recipe. So now our tomato spices have mixed together with the chicken. We're going to put in our gravy. And essentially, we've got maybe 3 tablespoons amount for this curry. Remember that this gravy is already cooked, so we're not needing to cook it out, reduce it. It's very, very thick. We're literally just marrying it with everything in the pan, and then we're just going to get our sauce by adding in the water to get to the level where we want it. So like that, just do its thing in the pan. Now we're going to put in our lentils, and we're going to put in roughly it's a heaped chef spoon amount, which would be a 30-gram chef spoon. So it's going to be sort of that much, I'd say. And these are just pre-boiled and softened red lentils. Simple as that. Literally in water, no spices, not even any salt. Just boil them in water till they go nice and soft, like you can see here in this video. Once they're like this, you know they're done. And then you can just stick them in the fridge and set them aside, and then just add them into your curry. What I've liked about this time round, since I relaunched the channel, is the amount of comments that I've been getting on the videos. I really do like a little bit of interaction because it enables me to answer any of your questions. We can have a discussion. Sometimes you'll answer each other's questions, and it's great because rather than just me producing a video, we end up with a little bit of a community thing going on there on the video. Talking of community, you might not know it, but we have a Facebook group with about 4,500 members at the moment. It's called the Real Curry Recipe Academy. It was originally launched when we launched our online cooking course. So we sort of had it for those members, but then we just opened it up to everybody. I'll post a link again in the description for that. If you want to join us, people post recipes, tips, pictures, videos, all sorts on there. And it's a nice community. So feel free to join us on that. So we're just going to add a little bit more water because it's just thickening up a little bit here. Just add water a little at a time. Never add too much water at once, so you'll end up with a soup. So just a little bit of water at a time, and then we can manage the curry and the consistency that we're looking for. So we've got some salt, just half a teaspoon of salt. That's going to go in. And our 1 teaspoon of lemon juice. Now we're going to go in with our mango chutney. So we've got about a tablespoon of concentrated mango chutney. It's not watered down. I think this is the Petaks brand that I have in my fridge. Just put a tablespoon of that in. It really does add a lovely sweetness. And then we've got a little bit of somewhere here honey. We're going to put in probably just a teaspoon amount really of honey into our curry. And then we've got our pineapple with the juice. We're going to put that in too. And if you're a pineapple in your curry type of person, then just break up the pineapple into small bits. You don't want a big piece of pineapple in there. A little bit is a nice little treat, I think, when you're eating this curry. But if you're the sort of person that, no, it's a definite no-no for me, then just use some of the liquid, or you could blend up the pineapple into a little bit of a paste and just add it in that way, and then you won't detect chunks of pineapple in your curry. A bit more water. We're going to add in our chili, our green chili. Now, if you don't want any spice, you can leave the chili out. I think when you have, and it's not going to be overly hot or spicy, when you just have a little bit of heat, a little bit of spice, and it's the sharp heat that you get from green chilies, it really does work, because as we said, you're hitting all those taste notes with this curry: sweet, sour, bitter, spicy, and it really is a treat for the tongue. You could just put the green chili in and take the seeds out if you really want to minimize the heat, but it's only one chili, so for me that is just spot on. And normally with a lot of my recipes, I don't bother tasting them because I know how it's going to come out. But with this one, because we've got so many different flavors playing together in the pan, the sweet, the sour, the bitter, salty obviously, and spicy, I want to just check the balance is right, so I'm just going to have a little taste. Spot on. Actually, that is spot on. I don't really need to adjust that. It's perfect. It's fine. It's because it's a written recipe and I know that it works, but it's just nice to check. What I will adjust here is obviously I would like a little bit more sauce, so I'm going to add just a little bit more water. And then we just sort of bring that in. I'm going to turn up the heat now and bring this to a boil, and we're going to add in just about, dare I say, a scant, just about half a teaspoonful amount. That's going to work really well with this curry. Lots of aromatic spices that work really well with sweet curries. So we've got that boiling away now. It's at the consistency we want. Bring in the garam masala. And then now we can turn the heat right down. We'll serve it up and we'll do the all-important taste test. And I'll try my best to describe how this chicken tikka dhansak tastes. Here we have our chicken tikka dhansak. Let's just try the sauce. Wow. Wow, that's really, really... When you cook the tomatoes the way I show you in that Madras video, you get a sort of a more smooth tomatoey flavour rather than that sort of citricy, acidic flavour that you can get from tomatoes, especially puree sometimes. So it just adds itself to a smoothness, which is really nice with the honey that we've got in here and the mango chutney. Just lovely and smooth. And the honey gives you a more floral sweetness, essentially, obviously because of the pollen and the nectar. If you use a good quality honey, which we did in this. Let's just try a little bit of this chicken. That is so good. I think chicken tikka works better in this than just regular chicken. I'd be surprised that anybody that didn't like this curry, even your hardline curry lovers, they would like this curry. And it's one you should sort of have every now and again because it really is nice. And if you've got guests coming around, you want to impress them, then this is a curry really to give them because it's really, really nice. So make it yourself and tell me what you think about it. I'd love to get your comments and questions in the comment section. Any questions you've got about this curry, then please feel free to ask and I'll do my best to answer them. So thanks for watching, thanks for tuning in. I'll look forward to seeing you in the next video, which will be middle of next week, where I review the Sanam in Manchester, where I've been going since I was probably about 11 years old. So you want to tune in for that on Wednesday. So until then, as always, enjoy your weekend and you know what, happy currying.